Hi everyone, Dr. Vidya here, GP and Transformation Life Coach. So thank you for joining me today, and what I wanted to do the lesson on today is on gratitude. Now, there's a lot going on, always in the world, but we are living in a time, an unprecedented time, which I know a lot of people are saying that, but it is an unprecedented time. And the way that we are going to get through this is acceptance for what is going on and mindset. Mental strength is the key, because our physical health is dependent on our mental health and vice versa. But really, it's mental health. And more than mental health, because mental health is actually an umbrella term. Or let me say this another way, emotional health is really integral. You know, the thoughts that we keep, our mind, as opposed to like our brain, but our mind, the thoughts that we keep are so important because they really do affect our physical health. There's something key that I want to tell you. The entire process of mental adjustment and atonement is all summed up in one word, and that's gratitude. Now let's just go through that again. The entire process, so everything that we are feeling right now, all the difficulties that people may be feeling, everything that's going on, whether it's with the particular coronavirus situation at the moment or if it's with other things going on, but everything somebody is feeling can be, it's a perception. Now, of course, it doesn't change if something has happened which is not what you wanted. But there is a way of dealing with it by mentally adjusting how we view it. Okay, that's our perception, which is a mental faculty. And we've been blessed with this as humans, right? We've been blessed to have these mental faculties because animals, for example, don't have this. They don't have a mind. They have a brain, but they don't actually have a mind with these different mental faculties to be able to change how they view things. Their life is pretty much just governed by the senses, and that's it. We have our marvelous, amazing mind, and that's how we're going to be able to rise through this. Now, I'm not saying that when things have happened to, loved ones and colleagues and difficult times that many people are going through, I'm not saying that it doesn't negate any of that at all. But there is a way, and the way is mentally adjusting how we view things. Okay, and the second thing is atonement. So what does atonement mean? It means letting go. It means releasing. It means just releasing whatever it is, surrendering. Sort of, it is what it is, that kind of acceptance idea. And then gratitude. Now, fear and gratitude, you can't have both at the same time. Which is why if you're feeling really scared or fearful, it is a real emotion, but you can use it for good. You can use it in a productive way, is what I meant to say. And that way is by mentally adjusting it, using our mental faculty of perception to actually change it into, okay, not that I wanted this situation, but is there something good here? And it might be something really, really difficult that you're going through, but you always have some choice. There is always some choice in terms of, right, I want to view this in a different way. And that is a choice. Gratitude is a choice. Courage is a choice. And fear is also another choice. So you always have a choice, okay? Even though when times are very dark and scary. Sometimes it might not feel like that because it can feel quite overwhelming. And at that time, what we are doing is we are sort of letting and giving into our physical body. Okay, so this is just everything around us. This is just the physical plane. This is just one part of reality. Now you might think I've, been smoking something, but actually this is true, right? This is one part of reality. This is not even a religious thing. This is a spiritual thing, but our world is governed by laws, right? The universal laws. So this is all real. This is the physical plane. There's a spiritual plane. There are different astral planes. And so when we're feeling very fearful and scared, it's because we're very much living in that physical body. We've almost forgotten our mind. We've forgotten that we have a choice, okay? And we have forgotten all the mental faculties, and we've gone down to almost a very animalistic level of reacting to the senses, right? So we're reacting to our senses or something that's happened and feeling very scared. But actually, you can always switch it. You can always switch it up using the mental faculties. So try to always remember that that feeling, the pangs in the chest, the feelings in the stomach, lack of sleep, feeling very scared, wanting to cry. All of those things are, it's not changing what is happening, but it means that we're just very much in that. Very much sort of in that point of time, if that makes sense. And what we need to do in that situation is almost like just take a deep breath. Okay, take a deep breath in. Do it with me now. And just take a deep breath out. Okay. And what we want to do is we want to be able to zoom out of our life. Okay, we want to zoom out and just almost look at ourselves almost like we are a speck on Earth, which is part of the universe, which is part of, like a much bigger thing. And the reason I'm saying all of that is that, this too shall pass. Just like previous pandemics and previous worldly events happened. Can you imagine how those people felt at that time? During wars, during some very difficult times, blackouts, raids, and wars, bombings, all sorts of things. So you can imagine it's at that time. It didn't obviously affect everyone, but equally, those people must have also felt similar fear. Of not knowing how they're going to get out of that situation. It's all very unknown. But I don't have it. I have an egg timer. But essentially, if you imagine you have an egg timer, okay, so I'm just going to pretend this is my egg timer. So at the top, you have the future, right? You have what hasn't happened yet. And at the bottom, all the sand that's passed through is essentially the past, right? It's happened. Even if it was a moment ago, the start of this video, that's all now the past, like it's done. But what we have in the middle, I appreciate this isn't a sand time, but in the middle, where the sand is just passing through, that is the present. And that is all we can control. And that's a positive thing. That's not, that's all we can control, but that's really positive, right? That we have full control over that. We can't control, the virus. We can't control how other people are reacting. We can't control some certain things, of course, but we can always choose how we want to respond. Right? So I didn't use the word react. I said we can always choose. There is a moment, that bit in between. There is always that moment. That's essentially what mindfulness is all about. Is that there is that moment when you can always stop and think, okay, I can choose to panic, or I can choose to be scared, or I can choose to react angrily in this way. So there's always a choice. Or I can choose to be really grateful and focus on the blessings that we do have. And that's not something small. You know, I know when things are crazy, it can feel very like, how could I possibly be grateful for what is going on right now? And I totally get that. Okay. But there is actually a lot to be grateful for. Even if it's just one thing, even if it's just, I'm so grateful now that I get to sit down and drink my cup of coffee. Yes, I know it's in a whiskey glass, but that's how I like to drink it. But even if it's just, I'm so grateful that I can just sit down, safe in my home, and just have a nice cup of coffee. And I'm just so grateful. I'm so grateful to be able to do that. Even if it's a really difficult day, you can always choose to do that. Even if it's, I'm grateful for my colleagues, I'm grateful for my team, I'm grateful for how we pulled together and sorted that situation out today. I'm really grateful for that. I'm grateful for the clothes on my back. I'm grateful for my beautiful children who are healthy and well and who are asleep upstairs right now, and have, you know, no idea what's going on because they're in a safe, happy, healthy, nurturing home full of positive, you know, vibrant energy. And that's not about denial, even for the adults, but it's also it's also viewing it in terms of, it is what it is, like it's acceptance. It is what it is, you know. Circle of control, right, which we talked about on I think on day 1, day 2. So you've got a circle of control, okay, and all the outside, there's certain things which you just can't do anything about those things, okay. So is there any point me even thinking about it is a waste of energy, okay? It's a waste of energy. You know, I was talking, I was having a meeting before this, and it was one of my business partners, one of my colleagues, and something else that I do, and she had a severe brain injury, which meant that she, through neuroscience, they were able to work out that she could only use a certain number of neurons or neuronal activity per day. Okay, so she had to be very intentional with that, and she had to physically choose sometimes what she was going to focus her mind on. So, I mean, and she's got immense gratitude and is doing phenomenally well. But again, it's about gratitude. You know, you can choose to, it is sometimes really awful, and you're completely within your own rights if you want to feel like this is awful and all of this is going on, and that's completely true. But it's not going to change, you know, anything. It's not going to change it, and it will probably make you feel worse. And it's just negative energy, and like attracts like, and it's almost like you just get more of it. So it's much better to focus on the circle of, you know, what you can control, right? Even if it's, you know, like what you wear today, even if that makes you feel good, even if it's, like I said, a cup of coffee, if it's spending time with your family, if it's choosing to react in a certain way, respond in a certain way when you're at work or at home, you know, choosing gratitude, choosing that, you know, we're so lucky to be, you know, staying at home, or we're so lucky to be working where we are, which has this equipment available, protection or whatever it is, or, you know, what you can control again, right? So that's the biggest thing is gratitude. So the entire process of mental adjustment, you know, switch it, mental adjustment, okay, I'm going to adjust this to what I can control, and atonement, so, and then I'm just going to release it. Anything I can't control, I'm going to release it. I've adjusted my mind and it's done. I've made a decision. This is how I'm viewing it. It doesn't matter what other people are thinking. Okay, and I mean that with compassion and peace and love, but ultimately you can only control your thoughts. Okay, so actually what we need to do, each and every one of us, whether we're working or at home, it doesn't matter, but we are all leaders in our own way. So what we all need to do is to take a deep breath, right? And just focus on, we are all leaders. I can always choose gratitude at any time. I can always choose to adjust my mental thinking and change the perception of how of the blessings in this situation and of the good. And again, it might be something as small as, oh, that colleague, is normally really grumpy with me, but because of this epic unprecedented situation, we're all pulling together, and we're like finally a team. How amazing, right? So yes, it took Corona to get to that situation, but don't think about that. Think about, wow, how amazing that we're all working so well together, and this camaraderie, the spirit, and focusing on that, or focusing on where that is available. And ultimately, all of that mental adjustment and atonement can be summed up in one word, which is gratitude, right? So what I want you to do is every single day, we started this on Friday, is I want you to, this is an exercise that, do with my training with Bob Proctor at PGI Institute, is I'm gonna make this available in the groups. If you asked to join my group, which is called Rise and Thrive, it's all like completely free, but then within the group I can actually put in the modules and the videos and like some of the workbooks and things, right? So what I want you to do is, or you can make it yourself, is basically get a workbook or piece of paper, whatever, but something where you're going to do all your gratitude, okay? Gratitude is what's going to get you through. This is really important, okay? And I want you to treat this as important as brushing your teeth or having breakfast, or this is like real study. This is really important, okay? Because we're changing our perception, and this is what's going to help us to thrive, right? Because we don't want to survive, we want to thrive. This is really important. So what you want to do is you want to start off the day and the night, ideally, and you write down 10 things you're grateful for. And the way you start it, the way you write it, is it's not just a list, like dog, cat, house, no. It's like, I am so happy and grateful now that, fill in the blank. I am so happy and grateful now that I am healthy. Okay, so, and can you see, it's with feeling is the most important thing. It's not the thing, it's actually the feeling. Because all of these emotions, fear, gratitude, faith, joy, anger, guilt, these are all real emotions, and they are on certain frequencies, okay? This is all like science. And they all have a certain frequency, and there are certain frequencies like gratitude which are extremely high, and these actually, on that frequency you start to actually attract more things to be grateful for. Does that make sense? The more you are grateful, the more you will attract things to be grateful for. That's what the law of attraction is, the law of vibration. Don't shun this stuff. It's the same as a law of gravity, okay? These are universal laws, and these are the reason why something's happened that we can't comprehend. These are universal laws, okay? So gratitude, the law of gratitude, is so important. It's basically the abundance mindset which people talk about. So there is always enough. It's just that maybe sometimes humans kind of choose to think in a very scared way, very scarcity mindset. But actually that's not the case. It's all about having an abundance mindset and gratitude. So 10 things that you're grateful for, okay? And then once you've done those 10 things, what I want you to do is to think of 3 people or 3 situations that are really, really troubling you, really hurting you. Whatever the situation is, be specific. Whatever the situation, be specific and be real with yourself. Okay, this is all about being our authentic self. Okay, and sometimes this stuff is painful, right? But if we truly want to change, and if we truly want to have a different result, then we need to do things differently, right? So think of 3 things, 3 people or situations that are really causing you a lot of pain. a lot of anxiety. Just, you know, you can feel it now, maybe as I'm talking about it. Just make, you know, and it's that gut reaction, the first thing you thought of, that's it. Okay, so don't try and lie to yourself. This is all for you. And that person who's causing you a lot of pain, and, you know, I want you to send them love and peace. Now, you probably want to just break their legs, but that's not a good thing, okay? So actually what you want to do is you want to think of 3 people who are really, really, really troubling you right now and really causing you a lot of pain in some shape or form, or just aggravation or whatever, or 3 situations that are really just troubling you, and I want you to just send love. Okay, now this is actually purely selfish, because this is actually not really for them, it's actually more for you, because the sooner, you know, I talked about atonement. The only way you can mentally adjust and use your mental faculty of perception, the only way you can really do that is if you're able to truly just let go of something. All of this negative energy that people hold on to, grudges, and, you know, you did this and that, or, you know, even if you feel like you're completely justified, that's fine. But once, you know, but you need to just let it go, because you won't really ever be able to move forward if you don't truly let it go. And that doesn't condone anything that someone's done. It doesn't condone that situation. It doesn't mean it's, you know, okay. But, and you can still move away, you know, from anything that no longer serves you. But ultimately, you need to send it peace, or send them peace and love, and, you know, on their own spiritual journey, in order for you to continue on yours. Okay, and that's truly, you know, being grateful. And I know, I appreciate that's hard, but you need to do those things. Okay, so 10 things you're grateful for, 3 people or situations that are really, really like the hardcore, like you probably just maybe can't even say it out loud. Those ones you need to address those. Okay, this is all about self-awareness. Okay, what is fear? This is when fear is a good thing. What is fear? What does fear stand for? Face everything and rise. Yeah? Face everything and rise. Use fear to help you. Use fear purely as recognition of, okay, so clearly I've got some mindset work to do about that situation. Okay, and use it. Have gratitude for fear. Have gratitude for, wow, okay, I really didn't realize that whole situation was really bugging me. Okay, I'm so grateful. I'm so happy and grateful now that I realize that. Now I can actually do something about it. Okay, and that's what being an emotionally mature person is. That's what a leader is actually owning it and doing something about it. And then this is all mindset work, and this is all stuff that you do yourself, and you have to, it's a habit, you have to do it every day. So with gratitude, it's a habit, it takes practice, and you need to do it every day. And ideally wake up in the morning early if you can do it. Even if you just say it to yourself, you know, if you're in the shower, or, you know, whilst you're making your coffee. Ideally you write it down, because then you're really priming the subconscious mind. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to prime your thoughts. You're changing your thoughts every day, so that naturally what happens is that when something really hectic is going on, like now, but say something really hectic is going on, you automatically start looking at, okay, so really pretty hectic right now, what's going on, what's going over here, but, you know, what is good here, what is the good? And that is what's actually going to get you through it, and not just through it like survival, because survival is very like, you know, minimum basic standard. You want to thrive, right? So the next 3 months in particular, because we don't know how long the situation's like truly going to go on for, but it looks like it's at least, you know, next few weeks, few months. You know, we don't want to see this as like a temporary, like, oh, you know, like let's just hold on and wait until things get back to normal. No, I'm sorry. That's not a good attitude, in my opinion. Gratitude is the attitude you want to have. And the best thing is to see is why is this good? Okay, what is the good, any good that I can get out of this? Okay, I can work on this, or I can I can focus on this particular thing, or our team can focus on this. If you're working, can focus on this particular thing, or there's this new skill which, wow, I've never really thought of before, but this is coming really handy now. I'm focusing on this. Focus on my leadership. I'm going to focus on being the calm in the storm. Yeah, that's a true leader. Being the calm in the storm. If being positive is just too much right now, which I totally get. If being positive is just that step a bit too much, acceptance and calm. That's the best thing. Serenity. Bob Proctor reads Serenity. I'll maybe post it in the group. Absolutely beautiful. Maybe just listen to that if you're working or things are just a bit hectic for you. Maybe just listen to that a couple of times a day. It's only 5 minutes, I think. And you can even have play at work. You do as much as you can in your environment. I play so many positive things. I think I've shared my playlist in the group, of things I do just to raise my vibration, so that if ever I'm feeling low, which we all do, right? We're human beings, but then you automatically think, right, how can I switch this up? Again, circle of control. What can I control? Okay, so that's hugely important. So attitude of gratitude and the law of gratitude. Okay, law of cause and effect. So what you put out will come back to you, normally tenfold. So what we want to do is you want to put out the absolute best. Put the best of yourself. Always just generously give. Just give. You can never give too much. Okay, don't ever feel like, oh, but I forgive. Like, I know a lot of people be like, oh, why are you giving your coaching for free? Like, what's, like, as if what's left. I'm like, well, I'll have, like, there's so much more. I mean, there are like other programs and other things available anyway. But even aside from that, like, I have an abundance mindset that there is always more. There's always more to give, and you will naturally get that back tenfold. So generously give, graciously receive. And when someone wants to give you something, like, that's perfectly good to receive it, like, money is good. So forget this whole mindset of, like, money is bad and, you shouldn't receive and all of those things. And if you have a problem receiving it, that's fine, just send it my way. But seriously, we need to really work on abundance mindset, not scarcity, because that just doesn't work, doesn't get us anywhere. Now, I just want to see if there's anything else I want to focus on. Yeah, so that's the main thing is gratitude, self-love, self-respect, like, these sound like very airy-fairy hippie words, but so true. If you don't have, that's what gratitude is, have gratitude for yourself, of like how awesome you are and how damn fine your soul is. Like, that's true. Like, you are unique. You are absolutely unique. No one else has your fingerprint. No one else can do what you can do in your way. Yes, like, there might be 100 people who have trained just like you, but you have a unique voice. Maybe it's the way that you phrase things, maybe it's the way you do things, maybe it's whatever, but there are a certain group of people that will only ever resonate with you and you alone. They won't resonate with other people. It's not about the knowledge, it's your spirit, it's the way you put things together, it's your energy, like all of those things. So be grateful for yourself, and that's self-love. And if you don't have self-love and respect for yourself, if you don't have true love and respect for yourself, you can't do that for other people. I'm sorry, you can't truly give that to other people. So the most important relationship is actually with yourself, and that is not a selfish thing. And I don't mean that about ego. This is like basic emotional maturity, and that is so crucial, right? So gratitude, a lot of this is mainly working on yourself, so that you are the best version of yourself, and that's what you're putting out to the world, because what you put out is what you're going to get back, right? So that is the lesson for today. It is gratitude. We are priming our subconscious mind so that we're always looking for the good, because naturally, when you start to do that, you will find that your world is changing, because you are choosing to mentally adjust what you see. So therefore, what you see changes, your world changes. Does that make sense? So 10 things to be grateful for every day. 10 things to be grateful for. 3 people or situations which are really causing you a lot of pain. And then what I want you to do after that is just spend a couple of minutes, take a few deep breaths, okay? Because it's, thinking is, mindset work is probably the hardest. Okay, you can often face some real inner demons. Take a deep breath and really just be open to receiving guidance from whatever you want to call it, spirit, universe, yourself, your intuition, just nothing, mindfulness. Just take a few deep breaths, and that is just super, super important to focus on those things. Okay, so now what I want to do is, because it's coming up to bedtime, is there anything else? I just wanted us to focus on a bit of wherever you are in the world. I know some people on here who are not in London, not in UK. So what we want to do is every day have a routine of anything, of something, okay? And make it something that you can actually do. Because there's no point having 1,000 things and then you don't achieve it and then you just don't feel great. So just do something realistic, but equally kind of pushing you a little bit. So you want to start the day with gratitude, okay? And what I want you to do now is I want you to actually just write down, just do this with me, write down your routine for tomorrow, even if you're working, okay? So I want you to write down the time you're normally going to wake up, okay? And write down morning routine. Gratitude. Yes? We do our gratitude. So we could do our gratitude and the 3 things and then the 5 minutes. Okay? Then, do your usual. But you can do this whilst you're in bed. It's best to just do it straight away, because you are priming your subconscious mind, and your subconscious mind is the strongest when you just get up. When you're a bit what's going on? Who am I? That point is literally when your subconscious mind is literally just completely open. Normally it's a bit like this. It's completely open. So you're kind of you're priming it, right? And you're I'm so grateful. I'm so happy and grateful. Okay. So you're going to do that, and then it might literally be the whole day you're just working, and that's fine. But you can still write in where you're going to do your gratitude, where you're going to have your family time, right? Block it out. Block out these things, because sometimes that in itself gives you reassurance, knowing that you've pocketed those things. What time you're going to go to bed, if you need to prepare things for the next day, all of those things, just write it down. And it doesn't have to be a chore, play some music and stuff, but this actually will relieve some anxiety because you've got it all there. And then the next day, if ever you're feeling a bit lost, or I don't know what to do, or I've just got so much to do, we sometimes feel a bit overwhelmed with all these things to do, you can just go to your routine and you're oh, okay, well, I'm meant to be doing this now. So you don't need to think, it's just there. And all that stuff, that kind of, oh gosh, I've got to do this, I've got to, there's kind of things which aren't going to further your life in any way, but it's kind of annoying things I need to pick up this, or I need to post that bill, or whatever it is. Then just write it down on the back. Just write it down, and then you just get on with your routine. And the routine is not, when I say routine, I'm not just saying stuff which is just to-do list. The to-do list is that's just in my opinion completely useless. What I want you to do is stuff which is actually going to further your life, aside from obviously you're going to work and whatever it is your our duties that we all have to do. But what's going to further your life? What is your goal in life? What is your life purpose? And we covered this last week, so that module I'll make available for you as well, that lesson. But what is your big goal? What is your biggie? And where does it fit in your day? Because if you studied, you should study every day. If you studied every day and worked towards your goal every single day, then in 1 year you would have 9 40-hour weeks. I think that's right. 9 40-hour weeks. Purely dedicated on working on your dream, your big dream. And it's not just a dream, it's actually you're actually making it happen. right? So this is important. So that when I'm saying write out your routine, your timetable, that's what I'm talking about. The morning routine is integral. The gratitude, a really awesome thing with gratitude is actually being grateful for something which hasn't even happened yet, but acting as if it's already happened. And that would be your big goal, whatever your big goal is. It's like, I'm so happy and grateful now that I am the President of the United States, or whatever it is that you want to do. And there is no goal that's too big, by the way, okay? And you really can have it all if you want to. So again, abundance mindset. But you need to, obviously, we still need to work the work, right? It's not just going to happen. So visualization, yes. And then you take inspired action. So you know these kind of ideas you have, like, oh, I wonder if I should like write an ebook or a Kindle, or should I start a podcast? And all that, write it down and then do it. Then like, okay, maybe I'll YouTube like how to start a podcast. Or maybe there'll be some link on like, here's my free book on how to do this, blah, blah, blah. Do it. And all of this is investment in yourself, and it's crucial you actually do it, because otherwise what happens is you don't do it, you think of these million reasons why you shouldn't do it, and then that goal just disappears, and basically you just do like just daily trivia every day that isn't actually moving you forward in your life, but you're very very busy doing all your to-do lists, but you're not actually moving your life forward towards what you want. And that's why there are so many people who are just so unfulfilled, right? They're just unfulfilled, and they get to a certain age. It isn't even about age, but they get to a certain point in their life, and they're just sort of like, how did I get here? You know, I've just been like kind of coasting along, and we don't want that, okay? So the way we do that is we prime our mind in the morning, and that's super important, and at night. But prior in the morning, it doesn't matter how long you do it for. I mean, ideally at least like 15 minutes would be great. I'm really dreaming, really visualizing. Have a look at my videos from last week because it goes into that in a bit more detail. And then, you know, during the day, trying to block out some points, even if it's just half an hour here and there on your way to and from work, or, you know, like sometimes when my kids are napping, or sometimes even when they are awake. Sometimes the only time you get to do it, but you're trying to weave it into what you're doing with them, or, you know, whatever it is, make it happen, you know. And it's not about doing it, you know, laboriously all day, every day. It's about the effortless way. So you just fit it in and then it's done. Work the work every day, consistency. Okay, it's not about perfectionism, it's consistency every day. So that is the biggest thing I want you to do, is you want to write out your routine, what you're going to be doing tomorrow. And then what I want you to do is I want you to write out now. I want you to do this now, please. 3, like, just awesome things that happened today. Just anything. You know, it's a bit like gratitude, basically. But just 3 awesome things that were really cool that you did today. And it might be that, you know, I don't know, you were able to, I don't know, it could be something basic like, oh, I was able to cook this thing and I've never been able to do that before, and I feel really happy that I was able to do that. So that's awesome. It's a win. It's a great skill to have. Or it might be, you know, maybe at work, you know, that's a really challenging, difficult situation that you were able to just kind of at least move forward by, even if it's just one step, like you're moving remember, focus on your blessings. So, well, that's really good. You know, we've actually moved things forward a bit. So that's really important. So that's a massive win, or whatever it is. So again, changing our perception. This is what it's all about. Looking for the good. We're literally looking for the good. We're looking for evidence of why there is blessings, why there is good. And again, it's all about choice. Normally, what do? We look for the bad. It's almost like we want to be like, yeah, see, look, it's so awful because this happened, and all these things happen. See, it's so awful, isn't it? And that's not going to help. So what we want to do is we want to do that, but the opposite. So like, see, look at all these good things that happen. So like, yes, this horrible thing's happening, but look at all this other stuff that's happening. And I choose to focus. I'm not ignoring that, but I'm just choosing to focus on this, because this is what I can control, and that I can't. So this is what I can control. This raises my vibration, which means I can attract more of that, and which means that I can actually do more good. And that's the best thing in this situation, and others as well. So write those things down, those 3 wins, and think about what your current, whatever your dream is, what is the current thing things that you're working on, so focus on those as well. And then I want you to think about, is there because it's all about character building. Okay, so character, in my opinion, character should be sought after more than intellect. Intellect is all very nice and all very good, but character is really important. Okay, I mean, there are a lot of people out there who are very clever, but not very nice people, and we don't want that. So equally, it's all very nice, all very good being very nice, but we also want to be able to do something with that, do good. And that's by being successful, being productive, so that you can exponentially, your goodness is almost like exponentially increased, right? Which is why wealth is so important. So I want you to really think about in your character, and in my book I really go through different character traits and how we can work on different things. But I want you to think about, is there something in my character today that I did that maybe wasn't so great? Like, I kind of wasn't so proud of myself at that point in time. And this isn't about feeling rubbish, but this is about how we can then do something about it. So if I want you to literally think, close your eyes for a second and think, if I met me right now, would I like me? Would I like me? Would I take advice from me? Would I, what is it that I don't like about me? And this isn't about, self-esteem and about trying to make ourselves feel bad, but this is, we need to know what are our weaknesses and what are things that we need to work on. So then we can actually focus on those things and make ourselves even more awesome. And this is what self-awareness is about. So it's about feeling like victorious and sort of like, I can do this, and I can do like anything that I literally put my mind to, because it's about mental adjustment, atonement. So then you just release it and you let it go and you trust the process. And the biggest thing is gratitude. So that's what I want to leave you with. If ever you're feeling scared or frustrated or overwhelmed, or it's just a lot going on, gratitude is what you want to do. Gratitude, you can always run off to the toilet and have 5 minutes and we'll be back in a second. You just need to pop to the loo, and you can just focus on what is there to be gratitude. What am I grateful for right now? And it's all about the feeling. It's not about the particular thing that you're grateful for. You can be grateful for this pen, right? But it's about the feeling, because with the feeling, you're raising your vibration. Remember I talked about the frequencies, they're real things. You're actually raising your frequency, and then actually you can just reset your whole day or your life just by doing that. But again, it's a habit. So you want to be doing it every day. Several times a day would be great. I have a reminder that goes off on my phone now and again, just to kind of remind me, of it, just to keep my vibration high. And I think that has transformed my life. Especially when I've been going through some really, really, really difficult times. That has just transformed my life, so that I look for the good. And I'm like, you know what? I choose to thrive through this. I choose to thrive. I choose to not be a victim, and I choose to be a victor, and I'm thriving. And hence, the whole Rise and Thrive program, right? So this is what it's all about. So add yourself to the group. Then I can put all the modules and videos in there. It's also available on the page, Dr. Vidya page. There's also another group called Warrior Queens on the Rise, and that's if in particular you just feel like you want to like vibe and gel with more women, if you're a woman. So that's just that group, for my warrior soul tribe. If that's what you resonate with, and if there's that kind of thing you're going through right now, then that's available as well. But you can also be in both groups, which is Rise and Thrive and Warrior Queens on the Rise. So I hope that helps. Please do comment below if that was useful. It really helps me to know in terms of guiding my material for you, especially during this time. So let me know, and also let me know if there's anything in particular you want me to cover. You can also private message me if that's easier. If there's something you're really struggling with, don't struggle by yourself. Like reach out to me, and let's like have a chat. Or send me a message or something. All right. So sending you love and light and gratitude for what it's all about. Choose to be a victor. Okay, victor. I should say, choose to be a victor and be a leader. Be a calm in the storm. Okay. All right. Signing out. Much love. Take care. Bye.